While the NFL claims that it has top-notch professionals donning the stripes on Sunday, the reality is that they're still part-time employees.
Throws to the near side. Hit early. Where's the flag?
More often than not, we see some calls that rub players, fans, and even sometimes the media the wrong way. Well, today we're going to take a look back through the years at 10 of the most controversial calls that the league has ever seen. 1999 NFC wildcard game, Jerry Rice is down. It isn't overly uncommon to see star players get the benefit of the doubt on bang-bang calls, but not all situations are created equally, so when it happens with higher stakes, people will understandably find themselves up in arms. This was particularly apparent back in the day, pre-replay, like when Jerry Rice got away with what could have been a game-ending fumble. With under a minute to go in the 1999 NFC wildcard game, San Francisco marched down the field into Green Bay territory. The future Hall of Fame receiver hauled in a pass, notably his first of the contest, which was stunning in and of itself, but he coughed the ball up when he was being taken to the ground. However, referee Gerald Austin bailed him out by ruling that Rice was down by contact, keeping the 49ers season alive, while all the viewers at home saw replays that showed otherwise. Then, mere minutes later, Terrell Owens got a 25-yard touchdown pass, which is known as the Catch-2. It's kind of amazing just how quickly the trajectory of history can change over the course of just minutes. Fail Mary. Though it was just in a regular season game, the Fail Mary play that took place during the now infamous replacement referee era in 2012 will forever go down in NFL lore as one of the most controversial calls that the game has ever seen. Let's take a quick look back at the play, and then we'll get into why it was so controversial. The Green Bay Packers were hosting Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks in late September. Up until that point in the season, the replacement referees had been a hot topic of discussion, as the league was in contentious negotiations with its regular Zebras and relying on scabs to do their jobs. And, well, it wasn't going great. But this right here was taking it to a whole new level. With the clock ticking down and only one play left, Russell Wilson hucked a desperate Hail Mary attempt downfield, and both MD Jennings, the Packers safety, and longtime Seattle wideout Golden Tate seemed to come down with it. Upon further review, Jennings appeared to have made an interception, where Tate then wrestled possession away from him on the turf. But the official call on the field was made in favor of Seattle, who subsequently took that game 14-12. And this play, in the now iconic image of one referee calling touchdown while the other waved it off, was integral in speeding up the negotiations between the league and its regular officials. The Tuck Rule. When NFL fans think controversial calls, especially NFL fans inside the New England area, the dubious Tuck Rule decision that took place during the 2001 AFC Divisional Round playoff game, with under 2 minutes no less, is one of the first plays that'll probably come to mind. So much so that the game is now colloquially known as the Tuck Rule game, and is almost unanimously reviled because the play itself was so controversial, and of course because that call ended up launching the Patriots dynasty as we know it today. Check it out. Tom Brady dropped the ball after being hit by Charles Woodson, but official Walt Coleman ruled that Brady had thrown an incomplete pass because he had started tucking his arm, a call completely foreign to the game at the time. The Patriots kept the ball and drove down the field for a game-tying field goal. New England would win that game in overtime, stunning Oakland, and from then on, the Raiders lived on as the sad poster boys for NFL Rule 3, Section 22, Article 2, Note 2, known as the Tuck Rule. Just a disastrous turn of events across the board. Saints PI no call in NFC Championship. The New Orleans Saints in the NFL front office haven't exactly seen eye to eye over the years, particularly during the Sean Payton era, which birthed the Bountygate scandal and all that garbage. So you know that when the league office came out and makes an official statement that a call, or in this case, a no call, was wrong, well, That's when you know it really had to be something egregious. "We understand the frustration they feel," Goodell said. "Whenever the officiating is part of a discussion, it's not a good thing. But we also know our officials are human. We will look again at instant replay. Should replays be expanded?" Granted, Roger Goodell didn't really do anything about it for the Saints, and it took 10 days for him to make a statement at all. But the implied admission alone is something to behold, as is the horrendous and controversial call itself. That play couldn't have taken place at a more pivotal moment either. The Saints were driving to the red zone on 3rd down, and missing that PI call just completely changed that game. New Orleans would have been awarded a 1st down, which would have put them in a position to win it all. But instead, the Rams ended up winning in overtime and marched to a Super Bowl where they etched their names in NFL immortality. Dez caught it. The Dez caught it play is one of the most controversial moments in NFL history. So much so that it's still talked about to this very day. All right, let's roll it back and set the scene. Mid-January, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 2015. A heated match between the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Divisional Playoff game. The game was late in the 4th quarter, and Cowboys fans rose to their feet in excitement, thinking that wide receiver Dez Bryant had made a game-changing play on 4th and 2, as he leapt up over Green Bay cornerback Sam Shields. Now, the referee initially ruled him down at the 1-yard line, which put the Cowboys back in the driver's seat despite trailing 21-26. Unfortunately for Cowboys fans, the refs insisted that Bryant didn't maintain possession of the ball, which still puzzles fans, media, and players alike to this very day. Holding in Super Bowl 40. The holding controversy in Super Bowl 40 between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks is one of the most contentious officiating moments in NFL history. In fact, the entire game was widely believed to be one of the worst Super Bowls ever called by NFL referees. But there was a pivotal moment that occurred in the 4th quarter, with the Seahawks trailing 14-10 but looking poised to take the lead, especially after what looked like a pivotal reception by tight end Jeremy Stevens just short of the goal line. The officiating crew, led by Bill Levy, caught a ton of heat, not just from fans after the call, but even from the commentator John Madden live on air.
They always say that you can call holding on any play, but what we saw there, I did not see holding.
As we alluded to, this was not the only questionable call, as there was a controversial offensive pass interference call as well.
You know, when you think of push-offs, that's not the kind you think about, really.
Now, it wasn't just folks in the Pacific Northwest crying foul about the officiating. Most agreed that seemingly every call in this game went against Mike Holmgren and the Seahawks. Heck, even Levy later admitted he missed calls, albeit well after the game was finished. It was a tough thing for me. I kicked 2 calls in the 4th quarter, and I impacted the game. And as an official, you never want to do that. Just another example of how some poor calls can change the course of history. Bert Emanuel's catch. In the 1999 NFC Championship game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were facing off against the Los Angeles Rams, eager to earn a trip to the Super Bowl. They were moving down the field and looking to put the ball in the end zone and notch a go-ahead score. Quarterback Sean King hooked up with wide receiver Bert Emanuel for a diving catch deep in the Rams' territory. Even though Emanuel clearly had both hands under the ball when he rolled over it, officials said the ball's nose touched the ground and ruled it as an incomplete pass, stunning the fans, players, and commentators alike. The craziest part about this was that it happened with the review process in place after it was ruled a catch on the field. To see a call like that being made on the field getting overturned was stunning. And it ultimately cost the Bucs a chance at advancing to the Super Bowl. This was so controversial that it actually caused the competition committee to take a look at the rulebook and put in what is now commonly referred to as the Bert Emanuel rule, the Calvin Johnson rule. There are few plays more universally reviled than the one that Calvin Johnson made against the Bears during the NFC divisional game. It's been over a decade and folks are still fixated on what should have been an incredible touchdown catch against the Chicago Bears that was ruled the other way and ultimately cost Detroit the game. As Calvin Johnson pivoted to the ground, he put the ball on the ground and it got away from him. But this was well after Johnson had actually hit the ground. But that still didn't stop the initial touchdown call from being overruled by another referee because Megatron apparently didn't complete the process of the catch. This botch call is another one that was so egregious and despised that it actually led to a whole new rule being made, simply known as the Calvin Johnson rule. Austin Seferian Jenkins fumble. It was only week 6 of the 2017 season, so I mean, the stakes weren't exactly massive. But the Jets were in a highly contested game with their division rival, the New England Patriots, when things went haywire. Austin Seferian Jenkins thought that he had scored a touchdown, but that was not the case apparently, at least after the review, during which I'm really not sure what the NFL officials thought they saw. So following this review, the referees came back with a very confusing ruling. No touchdown, and it was the Patriots' ball. The announcers were shocked that the officials overturned the play. Honestly, the explanation was almost as controversial as the call itself. This one just made no sense from top to bottom. 1998 Thanksgiving Day coin flip. Getting a call wrong during the heat of battle is one thing, but on a dead ball, in a situation as uneventful as the overtime coin flip on national television on Thanksgiving no less, that is a whole new level of humiliation and controversy. Heading into overtime, Steelers legend Jerome Bettis was asked by the official Phil Luckett a simple question, heads or tails, to which he gave a very simple answer, tails. But somehow, someway, that got lost in translation and Luckett told the world that Bettis called heads, giving possession of the ball to the Lions instead, which would ultimately tee them up to drive down the field on their way to a game-winning field goal and a 19-16 victory on Thanksgiving Day. But hey, which controversial calls do you think were the worst of all time? Which one do you think had the most dramatic impact? What do you think we got right? What do you think we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, well, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.